Good day everyone, my name is Rizal A. Humawan and I will discuss Chapter 15, Rizal's second sojourn in Paris and the Universal Expositions in 1889. Universal Expositions 1889. In March 1839, the difficulty to finding living quarters in Paris. May 6, 1889, the scheduled opening for the Universal Expositions of 1889. So, in May 6, 1889, it was held during the year of the 100th anniversary of the storming of the Bastille, the symbolic of the beginning of the French Revolution, and it was even considered approaching the schedule to reopen, which is attracted to thousands of tourists, wherein all the boarding house hotels in are nakuha na. So yun din yung kinabahala ni Rizal is the cost of living, kung saan tumataas na yung mga presyo. Difficulty of finding quarters. Rizal lived in the house of his friend Valentin Ventura at number 24 5 Rue Maubert, where he polished his annotated of Morga's book. Finally, he lived together with two Filipinos, Captain Justo Trinidad and Jose Albert. Rizal transferred residence several times, moving from one hotel to another, until he stayed to his friend Valentin Ventura. Then finally, he left the two Filipino Capitan Justo are the former Gobernancillo of Santa Ana, Manila. Then Jose Albert is a young student from Manila. Life in Paris. He used most of his time in reading room of the Bibliothèque Nationale, writing letters to his family and friends, the gymnasium for his daily exercise, and visiting his friends Dr. Trinidad H. Pardo de Tavera and Dr. Felix Pardo de Tavera and Paz Pardon de Tavera. So, the life in Paris Rizal reading room of Bibliothèque, checking up his historical Morga's book, and writing letters to his family and friends, and staying in gymnasium to exercise, and he also visit his friends to let nila Dr. Trinidad H. Pardo de Tavera and Dr. Felix Pardo de Tavera are the physician. Then, Paz Pardon de Tavera, which is the wife of Juan Luna. Rizal and Paris Expositions 1889. The Universal Expositions of Paris, which opened on May 6, 1889, the greatest attractions of Eiffel Tower, Alexander Eiffel, the French engineer. So, the greatest attractions of the expositions of Eiffel Tower are 984 feet high, which built by Alexander Eiffel, a French engineer. So, it is Rizal and his friend attended the ceremony and saw the cutting ribbon by President Sadi Carnot of the French Republic. The International Art Competition, which is Juan Luna, Felix Hidalgo, and Felix Pardo de Tavera. So, Hidalgo painting the second prize, then Juan Luna and Felix Pardo de Tavera are the third prize, then Rizal is no prize. So, one of the features of the Paris Exposition was the International Art Competition, which Juan Luna and Felix Hidalgo and Felix Tavera and Rizal participated in the competition. So, Hidalgo painting won the second prize, then Juan Luna and Tavera won the third prize. The three Filipino society Rizal's founded. So, the first one is Kidlat Club. Among the members were Antonio, Juan Luna, Gregorio Aguilera, Fernando Canon, Lauro de Meyuga, Julio Lorente, Guillermo Patwa, and Bolderemo Roxas. So, the Kidlat Club is purely society of temporary nature. It was founded by Rizal simply during together the young Filipino in the French capital, so they could enjoy the sojourn in the city during the duration of Universal Exposition. Then Rizal sent a letter to Blumentritt, and he told Kidlat Tagalog means lighting. And for the same reason, this club will last only during the exposition. So this is the second Filipino society Rizal founded, which is the Indios Bravos. The members are pledged to excel in intellectual and physical prowess in order to win the admirations of the foreigners, particularly the Spaniards. So they practice with a great enthusiasm the use of pistol and sword. Indios Bravos in New Society of Filipino Patriots in Paris, and Rizal proud bearing of the American Indians, and he told his friend why should resent being called Indios by the Spaniard. Look at those Indio from North America, they are not ashamed to their name. So let's be proud that in the name Indio. We shall be Indios Bravos. So aside from that, pistol and sword results also taught them the Hudo. So this is the self-defense that he learned in Japan. So this is the last Filipino society Rizal founded, which is the RDLM Society, or Redemption de los Malayos, Redemption of the Malays. He only mentioned this secret society to Jose Maria Basa, Marcelo H. del Pilar. The aim of this it was the propagations of useful knowledge, scientific, artistic, literary in the Philippines, and the redemptions of the Malay race. So he used initials RDLM instead of his true words, as we can see patago talaga itong society, and many of the biographers of Rizal did not mention. So, he only mentioned to Maria Basa and Marcelo H. del Pilar, and the letters believed to be the initials of the society, secret name Redemption de los Malayos, or so-called Redemptions of Malays. So, this is so-called mysterious society kasi patago talaga siya, and it must be noted that results inspired by a famous book which is Max Havelaar 1860. The Philippines within a century. In this article, Rizal expressed his view on the Spaniard colonizations in the Philippines. Rizal predicted with amazing accuracy the tragic end of Spanish sovereignty in the Asia. So, the Philippines within a century, it was the view of Rizal on how the Filipino are treated by the Spaniard, kung paano umunlad ang ekonomiya despite sa pananakop ng Espanyol. In the end of this article, it was stated ang pagwawakas ng Espanya tungkol sa pangyayari through the Emperor of Asia. Annotated edition of Morga published. So, Jose Rizal Outstanding Achievement in Paris 1980, printed by Garnier Freres. He wrote in British Museum. The prologue was written by Professor Blumentritt of Morga's book. So, Rizal Outstanding Achievement in Paris was the publications in 1980 of his annotated editions of Morga's book Successos, book in which he wrote in British Museum. And it was printed by Garnier Freres, but the prologue was written by the Professor of Blumentritt. Despite of the error of Morga's Successos book, it is a splendid piece of historiography because of being accurate and the narrations and the events. The indolence of Filipino. So, defense of the allergy indolence of the Filipino, the critical study of the cause why the Filipinos, the main thesis, the Filipinos are not by nature indolent. So, the indolence of Filipino was all about the laziness, but Filipino were diligent in the agricultures and industries. But the problems about this is yung mga Spaniard are terrorized to every Filipino. So, pananakop ng lupa, and it was also about the war between different country in the Philippines. Kasi madami talaga gustong manakop ang lugar ng Pilipinas. The International Associations of Filiphinologists. So, Rizal proposed to establish an International Associations of Filiphinologists, Universal Expositions of 1889, the Paris, and Letters of Blumentritt, January 14, 1889. So, this is where Rizal conduct the International Associations of Filiphinologists that aim to study the Philippines from scientific and historical point of view, where the historical about Filipino through pananakop ng iba't ibang bansa sa Pilipinas. Project for Filipino College in Hong Kong. So, aim to train the educate men a good family and financial means in accordance with the demands of modern times and circumstances. Mr. Mariano Cunanan, the Mexico o Pampanga, the 40,000 pesos initial capital. Result project is college in Hong Kong na gusto niyang magkaroon ng koleyo. Gumawa siya ng paraan na sumunod siya kay Maria Basa patungkol sa kanyang layunin. But accordingly to Rizal, he want every man is being educated and responsible for having a family. And Mr. Mariano, nangako siya kay Rizal na tutulong ng 40,000. But unfortunately, the project of Rizal is in a modern college in Hong Kong did not grant. So, per telepono, 1889, Rizal wrote satirical work as a reply to another slander of Father Salvador Fan. He used the pen name Di Masalang, telephone conversation between Father Salvador Fan and the Father Provincial San Agustin Convent in Manila. So, the por telefono was published in a booklet from Barcelona. Then Rizal received the copy by Mariano Ponce, but Rizal used the pen name Di Masalang, means sagisak, which matapang. Rizal is not just genius in writing but also in understanding and kinakaharap through the conversations of Father Fan. Christmas in Paris. Rizal spent Christmas with Jose Albert and Capitan Justo Trinidad. The original copy of Morga Success's book in British Museum, Gertrude Beckett, Rizal celebrated his Christmas together with Jose Albert and Capitan Justo Trinidad. Then he came back in Paris to check up his annotated editions of Morga Success's book with the original copy in British Museum and to see the Gertrude Beckett. So that's all everyone. Thank you for watching and listening.